Hi, everybody. This is Saad. Yesterday, a debate took place for a Pennsylvania Senate seat between John Fetterman, he's the lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania, and Dr. Mehmet Oz. And I didn't watch the actual, the full debate. Not really interested in spending that much time on, a Senate seat in Pennsylvania from my home in Montreal. But I certainly watched a montage of some of Mr. Fetterman's responses, and it's a pretty difficult thing to watch, as many of you know. He has recently had to deal with a very serious medical ordeal that has affected his ability to think, to enunciate, thoughts, sentences, and rendering him rather cognitively incapacitated. There is nothing mean or callous in stating so. But what I noticed is that there were tons and tons of, pretty high profile, super progressive, super empathetic, super kind, super warm, super loving progressives stating that it is so ridiculous, so full of hate, so out of bounds for people to be considering him unworthy of being in the senatorial race given his current medical, difficulties, and that would you tell someone who is deaf and he needs a hearing aid that they shouldn't, run for office? Would you tell someone who needs to be in a wheelchair that they shouldn't run for office? Now, that kind of quote thinking is so out of this world idiotic that it almost makes you think that either the people enunciating such positions are genuinely naturally lobotomized. They were born with a lobotomy having been done to them in the womb, so that when they came to the world, they did not have a functioning brain, or that they are so breathtakingly, diabolically duplicitous that they could utter such nonsense. If that logic were correct, that someone who cannot think, I mean, cognitively, because they've had a devastating uh, medical situation, he suffered a stroke, apparently a major stroke. Very, very difficult thing. May the cosmos protect us all from any such reality. May we all, may no one ever experience such an ordeal. But we live in the real world where bad things happen. If a Navy sniper were to lose his or her sight because of, say, diabetes, by that logic, it is ableist for the military to say, sorry, sir or madam, you could no longer be a sniper because, you can't see. Because, hey, that's a form of sightism. It's ableism. Let's suppose you're a Navy pilot that lands on aircraft carriers and you become sightless. It's not fair that we have F-18 fighter pilots that are stopped from flying just because they are blind. What kind of bigoted world do we live in where you simply tell a pilot that they can't fly a plane, or a bus driver that they can't drive a bus just because they're blind? That doesn't mean anything. We have to create an inclusive world where blind fighter pilots and snipers are allowed to practice their profession. So when you get to a point where your faux compassion, your faux kindness, and it's faux, it's not real. No person could be so miscalibrated in their compassion that they think that a Senate candidate who is unable to utter a single sentence should be running in such a powerful position. If you think that you're being unfair to him, are you not being unfair to the millions of folks who live in Pennsylvania whose lives are going to be irrevocably influenced, whether positively or negatively, by someone who's unable to utter a sentence? Do they measure? Do they fit into your calculus of compassion? So the idea that one should be weary of voting for someone who is in the current state that Mr. Fetterman is in, and that for you to be weary of that, you are just a hateful person who doesn't want to live in an inclusive world, is precisely why The Parasitic Mind is an international bestseller, because it captures what happens when people are raptured by parasitic nonsense. Have a good day, everybody. Cheers.